Matapos itong issue ng MRT at LRT, itong road to ruin ng mga commuters natin na taxpayers, isa na namang issue na natatabunan nitong DAP. 12 buwan na yung DAP, alam po ninyo. Pero yung mga issue tulad nito, ang disaster sa K-12 or sa education, kung saan mga 100,000 na mga teachers ang mawawalan ng
non-academic personnel.
Anyway, here to help us understand this crisis, which is being felt by many teachers, and I'm getting a lot of texts about it, that's why we scheduled this discussion. Itong K+212, to help us understand this is Mr. Rene Tuadles, professor in UST, and a convenor, lead convenor of this organization that is a bit long ang acronym,
COTESCUP.
COTESCUP. Council of Teachers and Staff of Colleges and Universities of the Philippines. Universities of the Philippines. Hindi University of the Philippines.
Universities.
All the
Universities.
Including SUCs.
No, I think right now we are focused on private tertiary education.
How many are these universities?
In the Philippines, marami. Basta I think mga 1,000 yung colleges and universities.
Okay.
Yan.
And sige. So, help us understand this problem. How did it begin? Where is it going?
Because right now, there is already a law on K-12, and the full implementation will be felt on 2016. And therefore, those who are supposed to be first-year student will enroll in grade 10. And after a year, they will be grade 12. So wala pa ring first-year student and second-year student sa college. So ang translation nun sa loss of enrollment would be around 600,000. So first year, 2016. By 2017, the second year of implementation, it will balloon to around 800 to 900,000.
So the critical years are going to be 2016 and 2017?
Not really. The critical years will be from 2016 to 2022.
That long?
Kasi there will be some kind of domino effect. After the third year, meron ng first year, pero walang third year. So after the fourth year, meron ng ganon.
Nga pala.
So there will even come a time na we won't have any graduation at all.
For 2 years? 2 years, walang graduates, no?
So ang issue dyan is, given that, if you have no enrollment ng mga 800,000 or 600,000 sa first year, it would affect 86,000 college teachers, as well as
private lang yan.
Sa private lang, sa private lang ito. And 15,000 siguro mga non-academic personnel kasi may mga staff din tayo.
So 100,000 na yan?
100,000. And when you say loss of displacement, maaaring mawalan ng trabaho, madideload, kalahati na lang ituturo, hindi na full-time, part-time na lang. But I think actually ang nakikita namin is retrenchment and talagang forced retirement. Ang epekto nito ay hindi lang dun sa sweldo. Because you have to understand, for example, in UST, when you are a teacher there, we also have other benefits. Like for example, pag yung anak ng teacher, 4 ang anak niya, free education yon sa UST.
Mawawala din yun?
Mawawala din yun. So yun ang consequence nun. So what about also yung insurance, hospitalization benefits? We're also afraid of the fact that a lot of our teachers also have loans. Yung housing loans, sa Pag-ibig, sa SSS, yung mga ganon. So all these things will be affected. And so if you retire most of these people, kasi wala silang tuturuan, may isang problema din tayo dito kasi parang lalabas, we will find a lot of people who are too early to retire but too old to look for another job. Iniisip ko nga kanina, come 2016, marami sa amin a-attend ng job fair. Ang kakompetensya namin doon yung mga former students namin. So in that situation, ang hirap-hirap.
Yes. And so why did it lead to this? Hindi ba nakita ng mga framers of that law? Wala bang study of the impact of this thing?
Okay.
Rene?
Sad to say, kasi alam mo, diniscuss na ito ng 2009, 2010. I also talked to some people who were...
You were already critical of it?
Who were consulted. And they said, DepEd consulted them about the curriculum, the classroom shortage, things like those. But they did not focus on the labor implications. Parang it was an oversight. And this is clearly shown even in the last congressional hearing, where where the Congress, the people from Congress, asked CHED if there are systematic or yung talagang pag-aaral tungkol sa implication ng labor, and they said they have none. And in fact, they're going to study it pa lang, and hopefully they will submit it come January. I find that rather ironic that, this is a flagship program of the Aquino government. But yung basic study ng implication, those who will be affected, to the affected sectors, were not even done. And this is, Commission of Higher Education yan. So, nakakalungkot talaga. Tapos, another point is very, very important. They did not invite us during the crafting of the law. So, there were no representation from labor unions, faculty association in tertiary education. So, talagang parang nawala sa kanila o kinalimutan nila.
May I posit my own theory here that they didn't study it because it was an imposition from some external powers, and I'll be very specific. No, the globalists who want to make everything uniform in this world. No?
Yes.
Do your teachers appreciate this view about what happened here?
Well, ganito lang pananaw namin eh. Parang, again, this is a supreme irony where they will always claim that we have to do this K-12 because it will make our graduates more competitive, more employable. But in the process, it's the teachers who will lose their employment.
Yeah, but at the same time, I hear the counter-arguments to K-12 that what is the problem with employment? We have millions of high school graduates going abroad and getting employed, whether it's manual or it's some technical work, they do get employed, di ba? In the second place, even if you shift to K-12, the countries where they have K-12, in a sense, Europe, the US, they have a deepening crisis in joblessness, di ba?
Right.
And even if the Philippines is over with this K-12 by 2022, tama ba?
Yes.
Nabuo na yan, no?
Nabuo na.
Anong assurance na may trabaho when the economy itself does not generate jobs, di ba?
That's correct. That's correct.
So what we have is that we have invested time in this transition, which creates labor problems, but will not ultimately address the bigger labor problem, di ba?
In fact, from our perspective, for example, they said by the third year, magkakaroon na ng first year. But even if you're going
First
to be...
year, college or university.
Na, meron na. Pero if you're going to be consistent with K-12, that means to say, they will not anymore go to college because
kasi may trabaho na sila.
May trabaho na sila. And therefore, the level of enrollment in college will not return to the pre-2016 situation. Yun ang that's the problem.
Well, another lesson I draw from this is, it's never wise to adapt from outside, something that may not be adapted to your domestic conditions.
Yes,
diba?
I agree with you.
Well, anyway, let me go back to your organization and your community, educators community. Number one, si Luistro, who is the Department of Education Secretary, is also in your community, sa private universities,
yes, of course,
diba? And wala bang communication? Wasn't he aware of these problems? I assume he was aware.
I guess he was aware. But I think from our observation, the focus of the K-12, those people who really crafted the law, they focus so much on the curriculum, they focus so much on the training of teachers, classroom shortages, but they have not really, they set aside the labor implications, yung consequences on teachers and non-academic personnel. That's the sad thing about it.
And the 100,000 teachers and staff that will lose their jobs have families of 2 to 3 or 4 children.
Yes, correct.
And those 2 to 3 or 4 children might not be able to go to school during that period. Kasi sanay na sila na may scholarship sila because of their parents' jobs. How can they whip up if they are teachers in LaSalle? They have 2 students there. Magkano ang LaSalle per trisem? 150,000? 300,000 suddenly, then nawala ba ang trabaho mo?
Kasi ganito nga you know what, the answer of Malacanang is rather simplistic. They said those teachers who will not have any teaching job in college come 2016 can actually teach in senior high. But you have to understand that there is a discrepancy in terms of salary rates alone, salary pa lang. Halimbawa, dito lang, but this is very, very informal survey from our group. Nakita namin yung mga sweldo ng mga college teachers would run around 30,000 to 173,000 a month. Pero tapos sa ano naman, compared sa high school, siguro mga 20,000 to 45,000. So, yung spending power ng teacher ng college na magtuturo sa high school, malaki talagang ang effect. Ganun kasama yung
situation.
So,
Okay, and so what is the organization going to do in the next few weeks about this? I was saying na mukhang irremediable yung law or it can be repealed. Sabi mo, if it's not repealed, you have some remedies naman. Ano yun?
No, well, right now, kasi we emphasize that this policy was created by government. And therefore, they are the ones who are supposed to be accountable to this. I mean, they have to come up with solutions, but we are willing to engage with them. We can offer solutions, but time is so limited. We are only talking of less than 2 years because this will be fully implemented in 2016. They are now saying that they're going to come up with this tertiary education sector transition fund where they need around 30 billion. But when we ask, what's the basis of the figure, 30 billion, they cannot say yet. And because they said they have to study and they need more time up to January. But our point is, why is it that it's only now that you're studying?
Yeah.
You should have done this even before the law was passed. This should have been part of the staff work. And sad to say, parang feeling nga namin, parang mukha yatang binastos ang mga guro at non-academic personnel dito. Walang pakialam sa condition namin. But they are dealing with our lives here.
Yeah. Well, you were reminding our discussion earlier that Senator Trillaness opposed this in the Senate before, and he has come out again opposing it right now. But can he do anything? Again, is the law repealable? Anong action to be taken?
Right now, I think, that's why, we want to engage with government. I do not know, I'm a little bit pessimistic, but we will try. But what we are saying is, we are studying all options, including, of course, legal options. Is there a way for us to question this? But that will come later. What we want right now is if there could be some kind of mechanism that will be able to address the problem of displacement.
Okay.
And that
first, those 100,000 will be displaced.
Yes.
To try to find jobs or some remedy for their situation.
And when you say, sir, displaced, it could mean in terms of retrenchment, retirement, of course, or decrease in income, diminution of income. May problema nga kasi isa pa, sinasabi, pag yung magtuturo daw sa college, magtuturo sa high school, ang gusto ng mga private school owners, there are private school owners who would say that, dapat ang sweldo nila, pag nilipat ko siya sa high school nung eskwelahan ko, dapat mas mababa. Hindi katulad ng sweldo sa college. Pero feeling namin, may issue din dito ng bakit ganun? Parang may violation of Article 100.
Right.
Number 2, may problema rin tayo sa yung security of tenure. Kasi ang direction ngayon is like this. Okay, let's retrench them and later rehire them. Which means to say, kasi ang tenure ng teacher sa college, it requires 3 years. And you have to understand, even before we can get the tenure, we have to have a PhD, we have to have research publication, things like those. But suddenly, because of K-12, when we are going to be retired, and they will promise that they will hire us again. But right now, wala na yung tenure, and but we have to go back to square one. And it has actually may implication yan kasi pag wala kang tenure, it has an effect on your academic freedom.
That's right.
You cannot just speak. I mean, as a teacher, as a professor, you should be able to be free in your research, in what you're going to say to your teachers, students, etc.
Are you in consultation with Senator Trillaness? Will you meet him or?
Well, we invited him in our forum.
Yeah, you have a forum.
On
Please
July.
announce it.
There will be a forum on July 29 sa UP Solair.
This coming Tuesday, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday, that's a holiday from 8:30 to 12 o'clock.
Is everybody welcome? Other teachers welcome?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why, in fact, right now we are receiving a lot of, I'm surprised. I thought that we'll only have less participants, no? But right now we are receiving a lot of calls that they're very interested. So it's Senator Trillaness as well as Congressman HermanTiu Laurel, who is the chair of the House Committee on Higher Education and Technical Education.
Okay. And when you're there, say hello to Rene of Rene.
Oh yes, I think he will be delivering the welcome remarks.
Yeah. Okay, I hope from that forum that you will have on Tuesday, you can gather enough numbers because show of force. I wonder if you can organize at least a demonstration of a few thousand teachers.
Well, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
I think teachers are not used to that.
They better learn.
They're not used to that. But what we're saying is right now, this is the best time to organize.
That's right, yeah.
Because this, I think teachers have not yet realized their full power. Because what we're saying is this, it's also important for teachers to talk to their students. Because these students will also be later policymakers, leaders.
Yes,
And I think it's important for these future leaders, parang learning moment,
That's right.
for them to, when they draw policies, they should really consider the affected sectors, which I believe have not been considered.
Kaya ang sabi nga nila, ang tao ang boss eh.
Oo.
Eh, tao din naman ang mga taong bayan ng mga teachers eh.
Yes,
100,000 basta't mawawalan lang ng trabaho, di ba?
Yes.
And I don't believe that mere words and letters and petitions work, no? You have to come up with a show of force. And if you have 100,000 that will lose their job, I'm sure you get 5,000 to come together, at least one, to protest this situation, di ba?
Okay.
I'll be joining you. I was once a teacher, so I have
right.
some...
So you're also
reason to
invited
join you.
in that
Yeah,
in that
I will
forum.
be there on Tuesday. I'll be there
Thank
on
you so
Tuesday.
much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so ibang mga teachers association and organizations, are you getting together?
Yes, actually right now it's not, we have UST, we have Saint Scholastica, we have Miriam. There are so many schools
Lasal,
already.
hindi mo bang binanggit?
No, I think may Lasal na rin na pupunta. Nakita ko yung guest list kanina, yung mga participate. And also, we also have schools from the Visayas, Siliman University, representatives from San Carlos, and we are trying to build connection with some Mindanao schools.
Okay. You were saying you have a website?
Yes.
You want to inform people, please?
Well, they can search us in this website. Search COTESCUP in Facebook. And at the same
Ulitin
time,
mo nga spelling kasi it's not easy to remember.
right?
No, sige.
COTESCUP, COTESCUP, COTESCUP. And at the same time, they can call us at 0923-672-6069 or 0917-307-9697. This is important because we realized, we receive reports that while K-12 will be fully implemented in 2016, right now may mga nagtatanggalan na eh.
Well, I called up to verify the situation with a friend of mine in LaSalle, a professor. And he says that they're now starting with contractuals or part-timers, una yan. Then they also have a program for early retrenchment nung retirables, no?
Yes,
They're
yes.
encouraging early retirement and so on. So, reality na ito sa maraming mga professor at mga teachers, no?
Right.
Well, your final message, please.
Well, I just want to call the teachers that we really have to organize. And that's why please join us in our forum come July 29 on Tuesday.
University of the Philippines, Solair.
University of the Philippines, Solair. It's in UP Diliman.
9 to 12 in the morning.
8:30 to 12.
8:30 to
8:30 to 12. Kasi
Okay.
po kung hindi po natin to gagawin, ay maiiwan ho tayo sa somewhere else.
Kakawawain kayo.
Yun.
Okay.
That's correct.
Maraming salamat,
Okay,
Rene.
thank you.
Maraming salamat po sa inyo and have a good weekend.
Okay.
See you.